Trump senior advisor Stephen Miller was recently on Fox News with Tucker Carlson, and he was essentially cheering on lawlessness. So he's on here discussing what's happening in Portland. I've done a number of videos on this, from the people being just snatched up off the street by federal officers, put into unmarked vans and driving off. The insanity of that, not being told why they're taken, nothing, just taking them and leaving. Clearly, it's illegal. You also have, as I'm going to get to as well, moms that were tear gassed. But here is Stephen Miller on Fox News defending all of it.
And we've stood up to that, and this president has stood up to that. But let me tell you about Portland. You have 100 brave DHS officers standing up against that lawless mob. They should be celebrated. They should be celebrated as heroes. A number of them have been injured.
Celebrated as heroes while they are breaking the law, while they are infringing on people's constitutional right to protest. Or in many cases, not even protesting. People just literally walking down the street and they happen to be wearing black clothing and they're taken into an unmarked van and driven off. So that is fascism. The federal government coming into a city, occupying that city, shooting citizens with whether it's rubber bullets or tear gas, putting them into vans and driving off, snatching them off the street. That's fascism. And Stephen Miller here saying that those federal officers should be celebrated. Now, let me show you, as I alluded to earlier, this is what's been happening. Trump sent cops to Portland and they're kidnapping people off the streets. Camouflaged federal officers have been patrolling the streets, pulling protesters into unmarked cars and arresting them. So I have a fuller breakdown on this story in particular that I did, I believe, last week. But the news moves so fast, I don't even know at this point. But this is happening in Portland, and there's a story that came out from Ken Klippenstein in The Nation discussing how the CPP has actually been in conversation with police forces around the country in terms of surveillance and using drones to watch over protesters and spy on people. So that's the first part of it, and then of course the second part is when these federal officers actually go into these cities, and there have been several threats now that that's going to happen. That what's happening in Portland is going to be expanded to other cities as well. And you also saw this, showing you who's on the right side of the issue here. Rolling Stone, the story from the administration that brought you kids in cages. It's tear-gassed moms. Another one I covered yesterday now. Man, time moves by very fast. But I covered this yesterday. You had these moms here at the front of the line with the assumption being, again, this is a peaceful protest. The assumption here being that, you're going to have moms up front. What are they going to do? Are they really going to tear gas the moms? Well, yes. Yes, they are. That's what they did. Yet you have the administration defending this, of course, because they're the ones that administered this. They're the ones that brought these officers in to these cities. So understand what a Trump administration is. Understand what it does. It is fascism. This is the beginning of it. This is 4 years in. Do you really want to see what this looks like in a year, in 2 years, in 3 years, in 4 years? So this is what you're up against. I think it's important that people are aware of that and understand how much of a threat he is. While some people are going to focus, solely on Trump talking about his brilliant intellect and passing a test for kids and saying other dumb things in a Fox News interview, while those things, yes, are worth talking about, this is where the real focus should be. This is where all of us, all citizens, everybody should understand how severe this is and how much worse it can get.